Hi everybody, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio, home of all of your health and wellness needs and information. Today we're talking about dealing with and working through sweet tooth cravings. We just left October, we're heading into November, and goodness, December is right around the corner, and all that means is more and more opportunities for that sweet tooth to get out of control and allow you to do things that you normally wouldn't do because it's just there. I know my husband's office likes to buy a ton of candy. They keep extra on hand for Halloween, and they end up with buckets of it left over that just last and last. I believe last year it almost went through Easter. It lasted so long. So if you're in an office setting like that, sometimes it can be hard to push those cravings away. So I've got some tips today on how to deal with those cravings and some tips today on how to work through some of those cravings. So on dealing with, step one is try not to keep it in the house. Try not to have it in the office. Obviously, if it's not there, you can't eat it. So that would be number one. Now, easier said than done sometimes, right? So if you do have some family members or office mates that are keeping that sort of thing around, then obviously that's not a total option for you. But if you can keep it out of those places, go for it. You're going to be better off for it. All right, so step two is if it is in those places, hide it. Don't put it in plain sight. Don't have it right sitting on your desk or on the eye level shelf in the pantry. Hide it somewhere from view. It doesn't have to be that you don't know where it's at. It just has to be somewhere out of view to where you're not consciously thinking about it each time that you open the cabinet door or the pantry door, whatever it may be. So you're putting it somewhere that's out of sight, out of mind, and that way then when you do need to indulge, that's okay too. Then you can have some, but it's not first and foremost the thought coming in every day when you walk in. All right, so step three or tip three is to freeze it, especially with chocolate or baked goods or things like that. If you freeze them, you can't eat them as quick, right? You have to take it out and either let it thaw or you get to lick the chocolate, whichever works better, which means that you don't consume nearly as many calories, you're not eating as much of it, and typically, especially with chocolate, it doesn't taste as good frozen, so your brain says, didn't really care for that, I'm okay. So kind of just some tips that I know that our team uses, our clients use to be able to deal with those cravings, to deal with the fact that it is around us, and to keep us away from having useless cravings, because a lot of times those cravings aren't coming from something that our body wants. It's coming more from the fact that it's available and it's there and we see it and so we eat it. Had a client one time who had a candy drawer at her house. She just constantly had a drawer full of chocolate and other candies that she liked, and every day she'd eat about 4 to 5 pieces. Well, it doesn't sound like a lot, but over time it can become a lot because those calories are empty calories. So you get no benefit from them, and they will end up storing as fat if you're not burning them off. So over time, we figured out for her that we had to kind of transition her slowly and figure out ways to make that work. But eventually she was able to get rid of that candy drawer, and her weight was able to drop about, honestly, 12 to 13 pounds over the course of about 6 weeks of not eating candy. And that was really the only change that she made during that time. I personally have had experiences with that where I was able to maintain weight at a certain level for a long time, and then all of a sudden I started eating some little 100-calorie bars that had chocolate in them. Just a little chocolate, didn't seem too bad. Over 4 weeks gained about 12 pounds, and then took about 6 to 8 weeks to get it back off. Couldn't figure out what was going on. That was the only thing I had changed. Took it out, lost the weight. So it's just that we fill ourselves with a lot of empty calories because they taste good, and a lot of times we're just not thinking. So if we don't give ourselves that temptation in the first place, that's the first step, right? Okay, so then you have a craving. You actually really want something. You want some sweets or some chocolate or something. I know that a lot of women go through those times a lot, but we have these times when we just really want something. So what do? Well, first step is to wait it out. Like, don't give into it immediately. Wait it out. For me, I like to wait about 24 hours if I can, sometimes 48 hours, just to make sure that that's really what I want. If I'm going to indulge, I want to make sure it's good, that we're doing what we need to do and not just kind of grabbing it just because. Second step is if you know that you're going somewhere, well, even if you're not, even if you're at home, if you have that craving that hits, go ahead and front load that craving with something healthy. So eat some vegetables. I would say probably stay away from the fruits at that point unless it's a sweet craving, and then maybe try a little bit of fruit and see if that balances it so that you're not wanting as much. So kind of either or there, but kind of aiming for that veggie fruit mix, seeing if that kind of stalls out the craving or if that at least fills you up so you're not eating as much of it. So there's a couple options there. If you're going out to eat, great thing there too. If you know that you're getting into dessert and foods that maybe you're going to a holiday party or something, you know that they're going to have all sorts of treats there. Preloading your meal with some vegetables will really help to fill you up. And then that way then you're not eating as much while you're there. So number 3 is to, if you have control over what's being made, make a healthier version. So instead of regular brownies, make some black bean brownies. Instead of regular fudge, make some almond butter and coconut oil fudge. Believe it or not, those things actually taste really close to what you might consider normal food, but they're delicious, and it can trick your brain into thinking that it's getting really great stuff. Yes, they still have sugar in them. Yes, you're still gonna have to be careful. You can't go crazy with it and have it every day, but there's a lot of things that you can make with a healthier version to where you're at least getting some benefit from it instead of just empty calories. So those are my 6 tips for dealing with and working through your sweet tooth cravings right now. And if you have something else that you'd like to learn more about, would like me to talk on, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I'll be happy to hit that topic as soon as we can. And if you have any need for help with nutrition this holiday season to stay on track so that you are not one of the ones who gains 10 to 15 pounds in the next couple of months, I would be happy to sit down with you and see if we're a good fit. Give us a call, 806-322-3188. We do nutrition coaching as a standalone service as well as in a package with all of our training packages. So if that's something that you could use a little help on, knowing what to choose, when to choose it, and how to keep your body in balance and in check so that January doesn't come and surprise you, we'd love to help you out. Have a great day.